But right now we turn to one of my colleagues from the NFL Media Group from Good Morning Football. He and his brother Devin were part of the something called a twin cast last night for the Patriots and locally there in the metropolitan area around Boston. He's here back on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Rich. Excited to get a chance to talk to you.
How was that twin cast last night with your bro?
It was a lot of fun. I liked the way you talked about it. Something called a twin cast. That's exactly how I went into it. Didn't know what the hell me and Dev were doing.
Yep.
But it was cool sharing some stories of our days as Patriots and just laughing and enjoying. We had James White, Rod Mankiewicz join in. The one and only Robert Kraft, RKK, even joined on to the cast.
Oh, wow. Okay, fantastic. So how are you going to do that more often, or that was just kind of a one-off for you guys?
We're going to do it for the two remaining preseason games for New England. So Green Bay and Tennessee, we'll be doing the same thing. It's coming live from my basement, Devin and myself, and we'll get some more former Patriots and guests on there, maybe some fans of the Pats as well.
Okay, that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, and so what did you take from last night's game? Anything that you can take out of that can be germane for the regular season, Jason?
A lot of it, I think it was fun to get a chance to watch C.J. Stroud on the other side from Houston, his first game action. I thought it was interesting hearing him talk after the game, where he's like, hey, that's what the preseason is for. You make mistakes, you learn from them. And he talked about the offense having a really good night, everybody except him. I think that kind of humility, that type of ability to be able to move on past it right away for a quarterback young in this league, I think is going to be a big part of it. Jalen Mills for the Patriots was fun to watch out there. A lot of energy, made an interception, was really good against the run. Obviously, my brother retiring, who's been there, I think we did the math. The last game New England played where Devin McCourty wasn't on the roster was in January of 2010. So they're going to be looking for guys to step up, and Jalen Mills made some plays last night. A lot of starters weren't out there on the field, but still, you get a chance to go out there and make a play.
So what was it like for your brother to be sitting there watching? Was that weird
I think
for
it was the realization that he can't do it anymore, so he was able to enjoy and have fun because he knew if he was out there on the field, it probably wouldn't be a good thing for New England at this point. But I think he's getting used to that feeling as a former. It changes a lot. You're watching guys and the realization that, hey, football moves on without you. So he's enjoying, I think, the second chapter. I'll be on NBC this year as well, so he's having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. No doubt about that. So, obviously, you're well-versed in the Belichick world, Jason. What's your best guess what he's doing today and what he thought of last night and is thinking about the upcoming season right now?
I think he's probably giving it to the guys as far as from a production standpoint, only scoring 3 points for the majority of the game. Then, obviously, Cunningham comes in and makes a few plays. The defense played well. But I think for offense, a matter of just getting things going. You don't expect to go out there and play a flawless game. There's not a lot of game planning going on, but you want to see guys just executing. I think for him it was probably exciting to see Tyquan Thornton make a catch down the field. He's had a slow start to training camp for what everybody's saying. So Bill is going to be stoic, and he's going to be even killed no matter what. So if they would have put up 50 points, he would have been the same exact way. So I can imagine he came in and another day of work, guys. Let's just keep stacking them on top.
What is your opinion of the notion, Jason, and it is a widespread one, that Bill Belichick is actually coaching for his job this year? Jason,
that is very hard to believe. I know, obviously, in this league, is what have you done for me lately? But I think when you're considered arguably one of the best coaches to ever have done it, and I know they haven't had a ton of success since Tom has left. They went to the playoffs since then one time, but obviously that game wasn't great against Buffalo. But I just can't imagine RKK saying, you know what, Bill, like we had a great run, won 6 Super Bowls, but it's time for you to get out the way, and let's just escort Jerod Mayo into the driver's seat. I think there's going to be a little bit more leniency with Bill to be able to get things right. Obviously, last year, the offensive side of the ball, now having Bill O'Brien, I don't think he's coaching for his job this season. I think he'll have the longitude to be able to coach until he's done.
Well, as you know, nothing really sets off, I guess, the Patriots quite like the Jets may be succeeding, you know, and the Bills are clearly now in the Patriot position, which is it's their division to win or lose. And the Dolphins appear to be more improved. So Where do you see the Patriots landing this year in the AFC East in general? How do you see it playing out right now?
Right now, if I'm looking at this, the Patriots are fourth in that division, and just the improvements that everybody has made around them. New England last year, they finished third and behind Miami, and then obviously Buffalo was the kind of prize of the division. But just going out to get Aaron Rodgers is a huge deal, and you can say, all right, they haven't played in games together. Who knows what it's going to be? Aaron Rodgers has been pretty darn good in the NFL for me to assume that the Jets are going to be a pretty good football team. You talked about, obviously, Miami and Buffalo. So on paper, I'm looking at it right now, and New England has a lot of question marks with Mac Jones. Obviously, his rookie year was really successful. Last year it wasn't. And you can come up with a million excuses why that wasn't the case. But if I'm looking at it, Tua looked really good last year when he was healthy. Josh Allen is Josh Allen, and Aaron Rodgers is a former league MVP. So New England, from a quarterback position and roster standpoint, they're the fourth best team. It's a matter of how much ground can they make up when it comes to coaching and scheme and game planning on any given Sunday to be able to compete with the other three.
Jason McCourty here on the Rich Eisen Show from Good Morning Football and so much more. What's your take on the Eric Bieniemy coaching style conversation that's come to the fore all week long, Jason?
Man, it's been incredible the past 2 weeks. You think about it, some of our most experienced head coaches that we love, and Sean Payton and Ron Rivera, whether it was Payton's article or Rivera's comments about Bieniemy, you don't expect that to come from the experienced guys. And it didn't seem as though any players were complaining publicly about Eric Bieniemy. So for Rivera to bring that issue to the forefront was very weird to me. And then he obviously read a statement retracting. But as I look at it, the Washington Commanders haven't had any success in I don't know how long, really since I've been alive. I don't remember the Washington team being a good football team. And now you have a guy, Eric Bieniemy, and you can say, all right, Andy Reid's been the head coach there. It's not his success. He's been a part of teams that have won Super Bowls within the last 5 years. For Washington, he comes in. If I'm a player on that team, maybe I just shut up and listen for a little while, see where this guy can take my game personally and where he can take our team to see how much we can build on and try to replicate some of the success he's had. And obviously it's a new age, and tough coaching and being upfront and honest may not always go over well. But let's see what Bieniemy can do if he can change this thing around, because Washington hasn't had a ton of success lately.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes came out today and said, what Tyreek Hill said and Jamal Charles said, which is just like, hey, he's tough, but, he's good. So it is weird. The whole thing is weird because when you hire Eric Bieniemy, you're hiring. You're not hiring a wallflower,
No doubt about it. So to say that, and I thought the statement Rivera read after that was worse than the original statement, because he's talking about one of his own. It's not like there was an incident where you have to get all the details right and watch what you say. He's just talking about one of his guys that he shares a staff room with, and he was still reading a statement. So it seems like Washington just can't get out of weird times. There's always something that's going on.
Jason McCourty here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what are you – give me a team that's your sleeper for this year. Didn't make the playoffs last year. And obviously the Lions are not a sleeper. They're starting the season on a Thursday night in Kansas City. So just as for instance, who are we not talking about? Who are maybe you're sitting around the breakfast table every day on Good Morning Football saying, we need to talk about this team a little bit more? You got one for me, Jason?
Yeah, I've been talking about this team kind of throughout the offseason, the Cleveland Browns. They're a team for Deshaun Watson last year. We didn't talk about the Cleveland Browns because of him. And now there's a team where he's had a year where he was rusty last year, missed games because of his suspension, because of what he did at his time between Houston and Cleveland. And now he'll be back playing football an entire offseason. That one of the best running backs in the NFL, Myles Garrett, and then adds Darius Smith. I think this is a team in a really good division with Baltimore, with Cincinnati, that can surprise a few people. And it's just like, wow, I didn't really realize that Cleveland was going to be in the thick of everything, to be in the playoffs and make a run. They're a team that I'm like, all right, I have my finger on to watch how they come out, how they start the season, and see how far they can grow from last year. Because Stefanski, you talk about coaching and everything that's gone on since he's been there. You get to the playoffs and have a good year right away, and it hasn't really been the same since. So he added Jim Schwartz on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to need to make great strides for him and his job security there. But I just think they have a ton of talent, and they can be a little scary this year in the league.
So let's see how far you think they can go. Chris asked Jason McCourty our poll question that we threw up last hour based on the fact that a handful of teams that have never made a Super Bowl are looking, as good as they have in quite some time. What do you got over there, Chris?
Yeah, Jason, which team that's never made the Super Bowl most likely to win it this season? Jaguars, Browns, Lions, Texans.
I'm going to go – I think a lot of people are going to say the Lions. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Trevor Lawrence, the way he ended last season, winning that playoff game against the Chargers, competing their butt off in Kansas City against the Chiefs, if he can make another leap and have maybe an MVP type of season, what everybody in Duval County is hoping for, I think Jacksonville can be the first one.
Yeah, I mean, they did finish strong. The bandwagon's full on both the Lions and the Jaguars right now, I think. I think they're both completely full. Okay, so who do you like to go back to the Super Bowl then, writ large? What do you got for me on that?
A team that I think would be fun to see if they can make it back to the Super Bowl from a few years ago would be the 49ers. Last year, they just seemed like a team where they get Christian McCaffrey, and they are just absolutely rolling. And as Trey Lance goes down, Jimmy G goes down, Brock Purdy comes in as a sensation, then he gets hurt. It was cool to hear that they might have actually went with Phillip Rivers that had to advance to the Super Bowl. But I think they're a team that they have a chance. If Brock Purdy can come out and be healthy, if they say he's on track to do so, they would be a fun team to get back in the Super Bowl. And obviously, they probably need Bosa to show up to help them get back there as well.
Well, it looks like you're having a blast on Good Morning Football, Jason. It's been great seeing you take over the role there.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And whenever you have Kyle, Peter, and Jamie, we're just on there laughing constantly, talking football, and it's just hanging out with your friends every morning.
What's the general sense of Jordan Love? I know you talked about him significantly today because that's the first game up on the net tonight, Packers versus Bengals. What's your sense on how he's going to look in his first opportunity he's been waiting 3 years for, Jason?
For Jordan Love, there's not going to be a hey, let's let him ease into it. He's been waiting here for 3 years, and it's his time. I'm excited for Jordan Love. I think he's a little bit of a mystery. We have no idea who he is, what he's going to bring to the table. I don't expect him to come out and look like the Aaron Rodgers that we've seen, that we remember where he was winning MVPs. You got to probably go all the way back to see what Aaron Rodgers looked like when he first got under center, taking over for Brett Favre. But I have high hopes for Jordan Love. I look at the Green Bay Packers as an organization. A few years ago, when you traded up in the first round to draft Jordan Love, you did it with the thought process of sooner or later Aaron Rodgers is not going to be the quarterback of our team, and we need to be prepared. And they've had 3 years to get Jordan Love prepared. So, LaFleur, hey, this was your pick. This was your guy. He better go out there and play well.
If I had told you when you were patrolling the campus in Piscataway, New Jersey, that Rutgers at Oregon would be a Big Ten game one day, what would you have said to me, Jason?
That we must be playing NCAA and you can change divisions and put them wherever the heck you want. It's insane going on in college, West Coast, East Coast. I would have never thought that would be a conference game.
Big Ten Conference. How about that? Coast to coast, up and down the country.
Unbelievable.
It is that. Take care of yourself, Jason. Let's do this more often. We'll chat again soon. Thank you.
Love to. Good to talk to you, Rich.
Right back at you. That's Jason McCourty. Check him out on Good Morning Football every single day around the breakfast table on NFL Network. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.